Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're jumping right in to learn SQL. That's the language that lets you literally have a conversation with your data. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to ask your very first most important questions. So let's start with a problem you're going to face all the time.
So, picture this. You've got a database with thousands, maybe even millions of customers. How on earth do you find just one person? Say Mary Smith. I mean, you can't just scroll through all that. It's impossible. This is the exact reason SQL was created.
So, what exactly is SQL? Well, first off, you can say SQL or you can say SQL. They're both totally fine. But at its heart, it's a language for talking to a database. You ask a clear question, and the database gives you an answer back, usually in a nice, neat little table. We call that table of answers a result set.
All right, every good conversation needs an opening line, right? In SQL, our go-to conversation starter is the select statement. This is how we tell the database what specific pieces of information we're actually interested in.
You know, the most fundamental structure is just these two parts. Select tells the database what columns of data you want to see, and from tells it where to go look for it, which table has what you need. It's really that simple. What do you want, and where is it?
So where is this data? Well, it's stored in things called tables, which you can just think of as giant, superpowered spreadsheets. What we're looking at here is the structure or the blueprint for a customer table. Each one of these fields, like first name and last name, is basically just a column header.
Okay, so for our very first question, let's just go big. Let's ask to see, well, everything. That little asterisk, the star symbol, is a universal shortcut in SQL that just means give me all the columns. It's a fantastic way to just get a quick peek at what's inside a table. And here we go. Here's our result. We asked for everything and boy did we get it. This is like trying to drink from a data fire hose. It's way too much information to be useful. Yeah, we found Mary Smith, but she's just buried in this huge list with everybody else. We need to get more specific.
Yeah, so asking for the whole shebang isn't always the best move. The real power of SQL is being able to ask really precise questions so you get just the information you need and nothing else.
Okay, now we're talking. We've refined our question. Instead of that asterisk, we're explicitly asking for just the first name column and the last name column. And look how much cleaner that result is. It's kind of like telling a spreadsheet to hide every single column except for these two. Much better.
Great, so we've narrowed down our columns. But we still have every single customer in our database. The next step is to filter the rows. And for that, we need a new piece of our SQL sentence, the where clause. This is where things get really powerful.
The where clause is our filter. Simple as that. It sets a condition, and the database goes through every single row, one by one, and only gives us back the ones that match that exact condition.
Now, this is a really crucial point, and it might seem a little backward at first. Even though we write select first, the database doesn't think that way. First, it goes to the table we named in the from clause. Then it applies our where filter to toss out all the rows it doesn't need. And only at the very end does it look at our select statement to figure out which columns to show us from the rows that made the cut.
And there it is, the final result. We've put all the pieces together, select the first and last name from the customer table, but only where the last name equals Smith. And just like that, we went from thousands of rows down to the one exact person we were looking for. We found our customer.
So we found our single customer, which is awesome. But what if we wanted to find all the customers with the last name Smith and then have them all alphabetized by their first name? For that, we need one more clause for our query, order by. This is one of the most important things you have to remember about databases. Unless you explicitly tell the database how to sort your data, you can never, ever assume it will come back in any particular order. If you want it alphabetized or sorted by date or by price, you have to ask for it. And the difference is just night and day. On the left, we've got a list of first names in whatever random order the database felt like giving them to us. On the right, we've added order by first name, and now we have a perfectly clean, alphabetized list. So much easier for a person to actually read. Okay, you've now got the absolute core of SQL down. Seriously. But let's do a quick bonus round. SQL also has these cool built-in things called functions, which are like little power tools that can twist and change your data as you're pulling it out.
Some functions are just incredibly simple. Take the now function. You don't even need a table for it. You can just ask the database, hey, what time is it? And it'll tell you the current date and time on the server. It's that direct.
A much more powerful and common function is concatenate, which is short for concatenate. It's a fancy word, but all it does is take different pieces of text, or strings as they're called, and stitches them together into one.
And here is a perfect real-world example. We've got separate columns for first name and last name. Using concat function, we can tell the database to grab the first name, then add a single space, and then add the last name. And we can even give that new combined column a temporary name, like full name.
Pretty cool, right?
So let's just recap. You've just learned the 4 essential building blocks of almost any basic SQL query. You select the columns you want, from the table where they live, you filter them where they meet some condition, and you sort them with order by. That is the core of how you talk to your data.
You've just learned the basic grammar for a powerful new language. You can now build questions to pull out specific, filtered, and sorted answers from massive piles of data. So the only real question left is, what are you going to ask first?